Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Man United, Erik ten Hag and the sort of issues going on there, their transfer rumours, things like that. So as we know, obviously Man United played Brighton at the weekend. I am a Brighton fan, but I'm not solely going to focus on Brighton in the video. But we're just going to have a little chat about the game and sort of where they're going wrong. And I feel for Ten Hag, I feel like he's going to struggle. And the reason being is if we just look at the players that they've got, look at the players they've brought in. So he's brought in Christian Eriksen, he's brought in Malacia, and he's brought in Martinez, and they've not given him anything else. So for the last 5-6 years, on an opening day of the season, McTominay or Fred have started. Now we already know as a pair, they don't work. Fred is not a 6. He's a box-to-box midfielder, probably in a three-man midfield. And Scott McTominay was just walked over by Moises Caicedo, who was absolutely brilliant for Brighton. But you look at how easy it was to bypass that midfield. There were so many times when Caicedo won the ball, McAllister, Gross, Lallana, who were all excellent, and were able to get through that midfield in about 1 second. You know, you look at both the goals. McTominay is all the way up the pitch both times, and Brighton get in 4-on-3. Goal because there's an overload. The first goal, obviously Welbeck makes a great run, gets it across the Gross. Shaw obviously has to cover Lallana, meaning Gross is free at the back stick to score. So many problems. Martinez and Maguire didn't work as a partnership for me. I thought Welbeck absolutely bullied them. Obviously you have to give a lot of credit to Brighton. I thought we were magnificent, but putting Welbeck on Martinez to win the headers, yeah, it was a bit like the great Carly and Hornswoggle, to be honest. Like, Harry Maguire's got to take more responsibility as the captain. I saw his post-match interview and he's like, oh, I haven't played with Martinez for that long, so obviously, you know, we sort of struggle together. Like, you're at that club and you're making excuses already. I felt for Ten Hag because that squad that he has been given is not good enough and is not going to get him in the top 4 this year. I put him in 6th in my Premier League predictions. And honestly, the midfield, if Fred or McTominay get injured, who have they got? James Garner? Christian Eriksen dropped deeper in the second half. And I actually thought he was one of their better players. But Christian Eriksen is not a holding midfielder. On the ball, he's brilliant. But he's not going to go and win your tackles. Although he did actually tackle Trossard at one point. It just seems weird. And the Glazers and whoever the hierarchy, you know, whoever's at the hierarchy of the club making these sort of decisions on transfers is ludicrous. They're absolutely ludicrous. You look at the fact that the midfield has not changed for the last 3 or 4 years. And you know, obviously they had Pogba and players like that, but he was always injured. How can you look at that as a pair and not see that it needs changing? Why were they not going for Yves Bissouma? 25 million, 30 million pounds went to Spurs. Top 4 defensive midfielder. He's absolutely brilliant. I'm not saying he would solve all their issues, but you look at that pairing and you think, how have they not gone for someone else? Konrad Laimer at Leipzig. Bayern have sort of been haggling over him all summer. Why have they not gone for him? Boubacar Kamara went to Villa on a free. There's been players out there. Why are Man United not looking at these? I know they're in for Frankie de Jong, and obviously Ten Hag really wants him, which if he is, you know, so crucial to the way he plays, that's fine. But it's clearly not going to happen. De Jong doesn't want to sign. So why are they not going out and spending money on replacements who they need? They need a 6. James Garner's not a 6. Donny van der Beek's not a 6. McTominay, I don't know what he does. And Fred is a box-to-box midfielder. It honestly baffles me. And I'm so glad that that's not my club. Because the midfield is atrocious. You look at the fact that they had no striker. Eriksen was effectively playing as a false 9. And if you look at the average positions on SofaScore, I'll put it up on the screen, there's just a hole at the top of the pitch. Obviously Sancho and Rashford, who were both very ineffective. But if they get to the byline, if Shaw gets to the byline, if Dalot gets to the byline, who are they crossing to? Absolutely nobody, because there's no one in the box. Obviously we saw in the first sort of 10 minutes, Bruno had that chance on the edge of the box and probably should have hit the target. But apart from that, I don't remember them having many chances that were inside the box. Whereas Brighton, on the other hand, obviously had that sort of box in the midfield. Lallana and Gross, outstanding. The pressing, getting on the ball, creating chances was brilliant. I think Lallana and Welbeck both had 3 key passes, the same as Trossard. Gross also got 2 goals. Even though Brighton had literally not much possession of the ball, we got into their box numerous times. We had 10 shots inside the box. We didn't need possession. We honestly, off the ball, I thought we were absolutely outstanding. I thought Bruno, for me, didn't impact the game. Eriksen didn't impact the game as much as he would like. Sancho and Rashford, I thought, were really poor, both of them. And at the back, Welbeck just bullied them. And Brighton should have won more than 2-1. We should have had a penalty when Martinez blatantly bundles Welbeck over. But because it's Old Trafford, you don't get these decisions. And I thought McTominay should have been sent off as well. I'd be so frustrated if I was a Man United fan, honestly. And I've watched quite a bit of Mark Goldbridge's reaction over the sort of couple of yesterday and Sunday. And I agree with everything he says. The hierarchy are just clueless. Going in for Marko Arnautovic, I know that's not happening now. But it just screams desperation. 33-year-old, we already know he's got attitude problems. He's probably going to want 200 grand a week. Weird decisions. And I fear for Erik ten Hag because he's not getting the squad he needs. And it's been the same, and Gary Neville said the same quite a lot. They need an overhaul. This is what I think puts it, so into perspective. I don't think that's the right words, but we'll go with it. Ralf Rangnick said they need to sell 10 players and buy 10 players. And he was right. He was right. And United got rid of him. We don't want you. You're clueless. He's telling the truth. They need an overhaul. They've spent 50 million on Wan-Bissaka. Can't even get in the starting 11. They buy a new left back. He sits on the bench. For me, I think he should have started. I'm not saying this is a Glazers problem, blah, blah, blah. He should have started. You've bought a new left back. You've put the faith in him. He's played all the pre-season, and then you start the old guy. What does that say to the new left back? We brought you in, but you're still second choice. Midfield is poor. Fred and McTominay as a pair would not start for many teams in the league. They wouldn't. It's such a strange one. Moises Caicedo was linked with United for a long time. They were tracking him for a long time. And we bought him for $4.5 million. And he's brilliant. He's played 9 games for us in the Premier League since coming back from Beershot last January. And we've lost 1 game to Man City. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's a brilliant ball winner. Really good on the ball. Tenacious. And he had the beating of McTominay every single time on Sunday. And if I was a Man United fan, I'd be fearing this season. Ten Hag's wanted a winger. He wanted Antony from Ajax. He's got no winger. Before the start of the season, you need to be prepared for the season. Obviously, we lost Cucurella and Basuma, and we haven't really replaced them. But we have other players who can come in. We played no wing-backs on Sunday. Trossard and March were high up the pitch, and our pressing as a 4, Welbeck, Lallana, Gross, March at times, Trossard at times, enabled us to get up the pitch. You saw in the first 10 seconds of the game, Trossard had a chance when he got the ball off the low. Graham Potter just outdid them. Really, we set up brilliantly. The back 3 were really good. Sanchez was good apart from the goal, really. And the midfield protected that 3, and we were good going forward with Welbeck as the focal point. And we had a clear plan of how to beat them. With Man United, I didn't feel like it was a Ten Hag feel. Now, I don't know whether that's because obviously they don't have the players, which is a fair point. But it just felt like they were taking a short goal kick and that was about it. And then when we pressed them, De Gea, not as comfortable on his feet as, say, Sanchez is or David Raya or people like that, he hit it straight out of play every time. Because we pressed them and we just were better than them in every area. Really do fear for Man United. And if I, as I say, if I was a fan, I would be very, very frustrated and worried about the season because they are lacking. They need a centre midfielder, probably 2, and Rabiot, decent player, he's got a good pedigree. We all know, his mum's his agent and she is a very difficult negotiator. But Rabiot for 15 million, is he really going to answer all them questions that they've got? He's probably better than McTominay and Fred. But it's Man United we're talking about. And for a long time, they have not been a club that you're scared to play. When we played them away at Old Trafford, when we first got to the Premier League. You turn up, the atmosphere's buzzing, and you're scared. As soon as you go 1-0 up, it changes. When they scored, obviously we did suffer like a period of 20 minutes where they would push in and the crowd was getting behind them. Ronaldo came on, but you get through that and it goes quiet again. And what epitomised the depth of this United squad is Garnacho and Elanga coming on with 1 minute left, because they are desperate. Sancho and Rashford didn't do it. Rashford looked a complete shadow of what he was 4 years ago. And you're bringing two young lads on who have not much experience in the Premier League to affect a game. I don't think they touched the ball. So I feel a bit for Erik ten Hag. He needs to go and get a midfielder, or whoever's doing the recruitment needs to go and get a midfielder, because they are going to struggle this year. Why did they not get Rice? Why did they not get Basuma? Why not Lima? Why not Kamara? There are players out there. Why did they not buy Caicedo before we bought him for 4 million? Was he not good enough? When you sign for Man United, you need to perform there and then. The pressure on you is massive. And this group of players that they've got can't handle it. Bruno Fernandes, 2 years ago, he came to the Premier League and he goals, assists every single game. When it goes wrong, he goes to sleep. He's not there. The mentality of the squad is nowhere near what it should be for Man United. And I think they're going to struggle this year, because they don't have the players, they don't have the mentality, and Ten Hag wants to play away. He played at Ajax, but he hasn't got the players. You're playing Maguire in a high line, and Varane sat on the bench, probably the quickest centre-back. Strange club. So that is it for the first episode of Let's Talk, which is going to be like a weekly sort of thing. Probably when I just get a chance to film and I'm just going to waffle about something. And even though I was at the game, obviously, and I'm buzzing that Brighton won, I just thought it was an issue that I wanted to talk about for a little bit. So if you have watched this far, which you definitely haven't, please give it a like rating. It does really help me. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time.